when you have a legend like Trish Stratus coming back, like you want to remind the people of why this person is so great. The week before, I was like, oh no, oh gosh, I like the gravity of what we were about to do, like what it meant for the business. All right, here we are.
Oh my
Here we
goodness.
are. Big Time Becks is in the building.
I've wanted to chat with you for so long. I'm glad that this is finally happening here. So thanks for coming on.
Oh, me too. My pleasure.
How has becoming a mom changed you?
Gosh, makes me worried about everything, but also grateful for everything. You know, like there is just this extra bit of gratitude around everything. I think when you see how much they progress over, like we went to a live event yesterday. I came home this morning. She was different. She had learned more. She was telling me that a dinosaur was a Dimetrodon. I didn't know what a freaking Dimetrodon was. And so you realize like the time that passes and how you have to be grateful for every moment and be very present and enjoy all of it. And then that also applies to this, to what we're doing here, because of our schedule, because of how crazy it is. We're on the road 52 weeks a year. There's no breaks. Nobody's going on vacations, unless you're Roman Reigns. Just kidding. Then you just get into the grind. What's next? And you never really appreciate what's in front of you and what you have. But when you have a little baby and she's just magic, and every day she's coming out with these magical phrases and she's doing different things and she's learning, and it's just, you just realize just how quickly life moves, and you just have to take stock of everything that you have, and you have to be very, very grateful for it.
Isn't it so funny that I'm a little bit behind you? So my daughter's about to be 4 months old. Isn't it funny that right before the baby's born, everyone's like, enjoy this, like enjoy it, because they're never going to be this young again. And you're like, yeah, it's great advice. And it is, but there's not much you can do to like, actually enjoy it, because the moment just, passes all the time.
Yeah. I think that's one of those things where people say that to you, right? Like they say, enjoy it. And you're like, okay, is this it? Is this the, am I enjoying it, right? Am I enjoying? I remember that with like, and this is totally different, but when I main evented WrestleMania and everybody was like, enjoy it, soak it all in. And I remember standing there with the titles going, am I enjoying it, right? Am I soaking it in enough? Like, because what does that mean? I think it just means like letting all the chatter dissipate and just appreciating for what it is. And I think like when you're sleep deprived, the 4 months and the house is chaos, and you haven't had a hot meal in a long time, you go, okay, what the hell? But I think it's just like knowing that all of those things are going to fall away, and you just get to stare at this cute little baby doing cute little weird things with their hands.
Oh, the cutest.
The cute little weird things they do with their hands,
The
and
best. Was there a moment before WrestleMania 35 where, it hit you like, oh my gosh, we're going to go out there and we're going to make history, and at the end of this, I'm going to be the one standing there with my arm raised?
Yeah, I think at several times, I think like the week before, I was like, oh no, oh gosh, I like the gravity of what we were about to do, like what it meant for the business, what it meant, just culturally. The fact that this predominantly male dominated industry was now for the first time being main evented by three women, and that I was going to be the one standing at the end holding two titles. Like, am I ready for this? What preparation needs to be done? Did I do enough? All of these things go through your head. But then I remember when the day came, just rocking up to the building, like walking past Undertaker going, yeah, this is my WrestleMania. So I do think I really tried to enjoy it as much as I could on the day. Though Though when it came to like midnight and we were about to go out,
Yeah.
the nerves then hit.
And now you're the NXT Women's Champion.
Now I'm the NXT Women's Champion.
And I'm curious what it means having that. There. I was wondering if we'd see it. There it is.
There it is.
I'm curious what it means to have that championship now versus the other times that you've had it.
Well, I never had this. You mean just championships in general?
Yeah, like what does this one mean?
So look, like it is the one that got away. It is the one that I was never pegged for when I was coming up through NXT. And I was very close to being fired constantly, and not like one of those things where I was unjustly on the brink of being fired. Like I probably deserved to. Like I sucked. Like I wasn't very good. But because I was so in my head, I had left wrestling for several years. I don't know if anybody knows my story, but I when I was a teenager, young, started at 15, I left home to move over to Canada. I was 18. I was like making waves all over the independent circuit. And then I stopped wrestling at 19. And I got very lost, and it got very lost for many years. And I always felt like I had this thing, but I couldn't go back to it. And I didn't know how to get back to it. And it was scary. And like, I didn't know what women's wrestling looked like because it didn't look like it does now. And there was nobody to show me that it could look like it does now. And so anyway, when I got to NXT, I was like, oh no, this is it. I've got it. But it was like holding a flower, like I was like suffocating it because I wanted it so badly. So nobody ever thought I was going to win the NXT Women's Championship. Nobody probably thought I was going to ever win any championships. They thought I was probably just going to be there or be a fine little hand, enthusiastic little hand that I was. And so going back, all these years later, in a way, feels like vindication. But the other thing is that it's more than that. It's more than the past and the righting the wrongs that I felt done to me in the past, which weren't even wrongs done to me. It was other people's time. And I'm so very grateful that I was never pegged for this. I'm so very grateful that I was never one of the people that they strapped the rocket to and said, this is going to be our girl. I'm very grateful that I had to strive and work and grind and push myself and bring myself out of the dirt, because I feel like it's given me a connection with the audience. 2, it's always left a chip on my shoulder. And 3, it brings it all back to what is the love? What is the love of this? Is the love of this just the gratification that I get? Or is the love the business and how I can make the business better? And what do I do every day in the ring? And so with that, bringing it all the way back, winning this, it's bringing the future with me. It's going down there. It's seeing who they have, who wants this, who is hungry enough, who wants to main event WrestleMania. Because I can't make history on my own. So let's fricking do this. Let's make it the coolest thing. But you're going to have to bring an edge out of you to do it, right? Because I ain't giving this up easy, I ain't giving this up easy. I want to push people. I want to push them to their limits. I want to see what they're made of, and see who's hungry enough. Because the person that's going to take this from me has to be hungry enough.
We've got lots more to get to in this conversation, including an appearance from Big Time Becks. But a big thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this episode. I love how NordVPN keeps me protected when I'm traveling, like when I was recently in Tampa doing interviews with Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. Woo! You'll be seeing those in just a few weeks. Because when you're on public Wi-Fi and you're going onto those networks, that's when hackers love to go in there and snatch up your information. But when you have NordVPN protecting you, that does not happen. And I think that everybody knows the best thing about NordVPN is being able to change your virtual location, boom, with just one click. That means you can get UFC pay-per-views, AEW pay-per-views for just a fraction of the cost when you just change your virtual location to a place where it costs quite a bit less than it does here. Also, if you missed the WWE Network, it still exists. I mean, it's Peacock for us here, but it does still exist. Just change your virtual location and boom, you're in. And what a deal they have going on right now. Go to nordvpn.com/CVV. Check that out, $3.08 a month plus 4 extra months on top of that. My goodness, take advantage of this deal while it's still going on. nordvpn.com/CVV.
Tiffany Stratton seems pretty hungry. And I guess we'll find out, it's you guys against each other at No Mercy. I guess we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But now look, Tiffany is one of those people that got a rocket strapped to her, right? She's one of those people, comes in, looks $1,000,000, can do everything under the sun. She can flip, she can lift, she's strong. She's got a character. We hate her. She's got everything. She's got everything. How much do you love it? What do you have in here? Because that's what matters. That's what matters. And it's a thing that the audience picks up on. It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter if you've got all the tools in the box, if you've got all the right, they pick up on something. And that's an energy. That is a love for this. That is being a student of the game. And so I think Tiffany has everything that it takes to be a superstar. But it comes down to what's in your heart, and so that's what I want to do. I want to push her. I want to see how extreme she's willing to go. Like how much can she take and keep coming back?
Very few
Extreme
superstars.
Rules match is,
Yeah. Very few superstars get that defining moment. And you had that defining moment when you became the man. And I think that some other ones that immediately pop into my head are like the Austin 316 promo or Hulk Hogan slamming Andre at WrestleMania 3. At what point did you realize, you're standing in there, the nose is broken, you're posing. At what point do you realize, oh my gosh, this is the moment?
Oh no, I didn't have a clue what was going on. Really, I was so concussed out of my mind. I had no idea where I was. I walked back through those doors. I said, where are we? How did we get here? I didn't have a clue. Like, I had enough wherewithal to be like, camera's still on me. Enjoy this moment. The crowd's going wild. This is cool. Like, I knew I had blood coming down my face, just didn't really care. I didn't like think of it as like, oh, this is a cool moment. I was just like, oh yeah, we're doing the thing. The crowd's going wild. This is awesome. This is awesome. And I think it wasn't until the following days that people really started to celebrate the look. But really, it's crazy when people think about it as like that was the defining moment. Because before, I really kind of think that it was the slap that was the defining moment for me. That was what brought my character into this metamorphosis. And really, it was the blood on the face that was like the crescendo. But up until that point, I was just having a blast. I was having the time of my life because I was booked like the bad guy, but I was the good guy. So I could do no wrong. And that is the most beautiful place to be in this business, where you can just do no wrong. So you're just having a blast. And after that, then I was a baby face, and then ended up hobbling my way to WrestleMania. And it kind of, as great as that ultimate moment was, there was more struggles on the back end of that nose being broken than there were before it, if that makes sense.
The man, though, is a great nickname. Like, and you took it and you ran with it, and made a great shirt that everybody bought. Like, I don't know if you realized you had lightning in a bottle, when you created the man.
I think I did. Yeah. You could feel it. Like, you could sense that upswell around it. Like, okay, this is cool. This is a movement almost, people are getting behind this. And so it's very cool. Very cool to be part of.
You know what people got behind? This steel cage match with you and Trish Stratus. Like, this was something really special at Payback.
Yeah, we crushed it. We crushed that. Yep. Stole the damn show. Started off. It was all downhill from there. No, it wasn't. It was actually a great show. But yeah, no, we started off hot. I think like a few chips on our shoulder. The story had been going on for a long time, maybe not getting the steam that necessarily we wanted. Being left off SummerSlam. Obviously, I understand why these decisions are made, but really wanted to go out there and prove it. And getting that time, getting that steel cage match was the perfect way to finish it. You know, match of our life.
I mean, it seriously might be.
Yeah. So I mean, look, when you have a legend like Trish Stratus coming back, like you want to remind the people of why this person was so great, and I think there's no doubt after that match of the greatness.
It's so interesting when you go back and you watch your WWE debut, to like the contrast between who that person was and who this person is that is sitting across from me.
Are we talking about the Irish jig? We're talking about the Irish jig. Okay.
We are in the very, very green attire that you had.
All right. Yeah. There we are. Look, if that is not proof that you can dig yourself out of any hole, then I don't know what is, because that is, I would put that over Shockmaster in terms of shameful debuts.
Wow.
Yeah. Like he just fell over, you know? Like he fell over. Okay, fine. That sucks. I went out. I was committed to that, you know?
Yeah.
Like that was my, like, I think the difference is he didn't intend to fall over. I intended to go out there and do an Irish jig like that, and thought that I was worthy of being on WWE television. That happened. That happened.
But here's the thing. How do you get out of that? Because there are a lot of superstars that like they debut as one character and then they're stuck as that and they can't make it work.
I think there's always a catalyst for change, right? You just got to figure out what it is. Winning a match can be catalyst for change. Losing a match can be catalyst for change. You just sometimes need the right story, the right antagonist or protagonist, depending on what way you're going to go. But I think that's the fun thing about wrestling, man. We can do anything. You can go from being a stupid, silly Irish dancing clown to being the man of the business and main eventing WrestleMania, holding 2 titles over your head, you know? And that's the thing. And I suppose in a way that's the thing about life, right? Like that you don't have to be stuck as the person that you were or with the thing that you did. You can move on. And you can learn from your mistakes and hope you never go back there. And I hope I never go back in that green attire doing any Irish dances.
That championship.
I don't listen to Irish music anymore. No, that's not a lie. I love it. I rock out to it in the gym. It's very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
That championship that you have there, I feel like that was kind of the last thing that you had on like the bucket list to cross off. Now you've won it. What could you possibly have that you need to accomplish now in your career?
Gosh, that's kind of one of those questions that I do get asked fairly regularly. And it's a nice point where you could say, yeah, I want to main event WrestleMania again. I want to do this again. I want to do that again. I want to do this. I would like to win an Elimination Chamber. I want to win Money in the Bank. But really, it comes down to cementing the legacy. And how do I make every match that I have great? How do I elevate the women in NXT? How do I push the business forward? How do I leave it better than I found it? And I already feel like I've left it better than I found it, but I want to continue that. I want to keep pushing that. I want to make myself proud and my daughter proud, my family proud, and the audience proud. I want them to enjoy watching me. I want them to go, what's next? And be invested in the matches that I'm having and the people that I'm wrestling. And so I suppose that's it. And it comes down to consistency and the love of the business. I just love this. I love going out there. I love going out there in front of the crowd and giving them all that I have, putting my body on the line, putting my mind on the line, taking risks. I think it's more right now, it's more of just the love of the game than what else do you have to accomplish.
I
It's like
love that.
I've been lucky enough to accomplish many things, and there's probably many more things that I will accomplish. But I just love this. How do I make this better?
Yeah, I love that. And you mentioned your daughter, and when you're her mom, when Seth Rollins is her dad, I mean, what kind of a superstar do we have on the way here in like 18, 20 years?
Oh man, she has so much more charisma than both of us combined. She has electric, she is magical, magnetic. She is amazing. I'm so proud of her. She's just such a great little girl. She's so funny and she's so smart and she's so sweet and she's so decisive. Yeah, she's brilliant. And if she wants to do this, then well, we'll train her up well and we'll make sure that she's the best in the world at this. But I don't know. Currently, she doesn't really like watching it. Yeah, it's too loud, too loud, too loud.
What is
Too
she
loud.
watching instead? Like Blippi or something?
Yeah, Blippi, Miss Rachel, anything
We
dinosaurs.
watch a lot of Miss Rachel in this house.
She's great. I love Miss Rachel. So I invited her to a Madison Square Garden show one time. She didn't come.
Oh,
Miss Rachel, if you're watching that invite is open anytime you want. Anytime you want. You don't even have to come in full costume. No, she's great. I love her. She taught Rue so much.
I don't think people can picture Seth Rollins being a father, though.
Oh, he's the best. He is so good. He's so patient. And so kind, like he never loses his temper. She respects him. She respects him a bit more than she respects me, you know. Like I try to lay down the law, but I'm a softie, you know. But like he's so good. He is so good. They're the best of buds.
So we saw The Rock come back on SmackDown not long ago. And when you think about it, the last time The Rock was in a WWE ring, it was 4 years ago. It was with you and Baron Corbin. And take us backstage before you guys went out for that segment. Walk us through how everything went with The Rock.
I mean, look, when you're working with Dwayne, it's so easy because anything you do gets a reaction, and he's so good and he's so in tune with the energy of everyone, the entire universe. I think you can see that by how he's just, you know, taken over the world. But he also makes everybody feel so comfortable, and he wants everything to be the best, and he takes care of everybody that's around him. But also then you're just so racked with nerves because you're going toe to toe with the great one, who is the great one, who's got, you know, more charisma and is pinky than, I mean, him and Rue could compete maybe, you know.
Hey.
But it is like a bit of a nerve-wracking experience because you want to hold your own, and you have to hold your own because he's giving you the torch. He's saying, here you go. Let me give you the rub, kid. And no, he really looked after all of us, and getting to work with him and being out there and feeling the energy of the crowd. And then you go, that's what I want. That's what I want. I want people to react to me that way. And that's a very cool thing because you get to experience and you go, okay, I knew I was hot. This is a different level of hot. How do I get this level of hot?
Yeah, there's an interesting thing when The Rock comes out. Like there's a pop for his music, and then there's a bigger pop when he actually walks out and people are like, oh my God, he is here.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's and to be able to experience that while you're in the ring, about to work with him. A wild energy, and I'm very privileged I got to do it.
You've gotten to this interesting point of your career where you're now working with people who I'm sure are saying, you're the reason I'm doing this, or I grew up watching you. What's the advice that you have when you work with some younger talent?
I suppose there's many different advice. It depends on what the question is, but I think it's it's to kind of bring it down to fundamentals and always think about the long game and the purpose and the crowd and what it is that we do. What it is that we do, what are we selling? We're always selling stories, we're selling conflict. How do I make them care? How do I make them care about me beyond the superficial things? How do I care? How do I get them to care about the person that I am? And then, of course, there is the thing of TV time. And okay, I'm not getting as much TV time as I wanted, or I'm not winning as many matches as I wanted. How can I make this work for me? Well, the thing is, you can always make it work for you, no matter what it is, whether you're getting time or you're not getting time. And it's harder when you're not getting time, but there are things that you can do. And I was always told by William Regal that when you're not on the show, you go and you find the digital team and you tell a story or you do something. And that was what I did in my early career that really endeared me to the audience. I think that was always my secret ingredient, whether I was doing silly Instagram posts or I was finding backstage interviewers so that I could cut a promo that I wasn't getting time to cut on TV. So then at least there is some contingent of the audience that watches this, that knows who I am, that is hearing my voice, that is hearing my message. And then they will get behind you. And I think that is kind of one of those secret ingredients that you could sit around and be annoyed, or you could take matters into your own hands and tell a story. I think my dad used to always just tell me that when I was bored, just tell yourself a story. And I think William Regal was kind of telling me the same thing. It's always been the same thing. Tell yourself a story, but now it's not yourself. It's tell the audience a story.
Who was it for you?
That is.
Who was it for you? Who got you into pro wrestling when you were?
Mick Foley.
Mick Foley.
Told me a story, man. His promos. Yeah. So like I remember being a fan when I was a kid, Hulkamania, Ultimate Warrior, all that kind of jazz, dressing up in my mom's clothes and wrestling with my brother on her bed. But I fell out of watching it, I think mostly because my brother fell out of watching it. And then he started watching again in the Attitude Era. And I'd come along when he was watching it, and I was one of those. I was the worst. I was the worst. I was like, oh, no, that's so fake. That's for babies. And I'd be like, no, it's gotten really good. It's actually really good now. And I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. But then Mick would come on. And I'd be like, the way he talked, and the stories he tell, and this underdog that he was, and this unlikely superstar that he was. And I was a bit of a misfit as a kid, not a bit of a misfit. I was very much a misfit, and I could see myself in him. Like there was just that relationship, that rapport of like, no, you're not the picture perfect superstar. And so he became my hero. I really wanted him to win, and then he had that match with Triple H where he was going to retire if he lost. And I remember staying up late and watching it, and him and me just being in floods of tears. And of course he came back like 4 weeks later, whatever. But that was really what hooked me. And then I was there to stay, and then I saw Lita, and she was so cool, and I wanted to be like her. And then everybody else. I mean, it was just such a hot time in the business, but I just fell in love with it.
Do you have a favorite Mick Foley match?
Gosh, I don't know. Probably, I mean, maybe it's Triple H and Mick Foley in the Hell in a Cell, just for that nostalgic reason,
Yeah, it was so good. I think everyone points to like the Undertaker, Mick Foley,
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell. I mean, that was his defining moment for sure.
His defining moment. But I think for me as a fan, to get to the point where I was crying over this man losing was a defining moment in my fandom.
Yeah. The match he had with Randy Orton, where Randy Orton,
my gosh.
right? Where we kind of went,
Yes.
Randy Orton will do this stuff? That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, Randy, what a legend. What a legend that man is.
Great. I mean, you're working with a lot of legends right now.
I am. We're in a great time in the business. Very great time at the business. Everybody's hitting, everybody's taking off. The fans are excited. The buildings are sold out. there's an energy around the place. So it's a very cool thing to be a part of.
I feel like the way that our generation talks about the Attitude Era, I feel like there's going to be another generation that talks about exactly what is happening right now.
Damn right they will.
Yeah.
Damn right they will, and talk about the greatest NXT Women's Champion.
You should probably keep it on your shoulder the whole time. I don't know why you wouldn't.
There we go.
What's it like going through TSA with that?
Well, do you know what? Actually, it's more than that. I have this little cut on my side and it keeps digging into it. What's it going through TSA with this? Yeah, they stop you all the time, take it out of your bag, and I'm always late for flights. So I'm like, oh God, lads, stop it. Yeah.
And they're like, what are you the champion of? And you're like, it says right here what I'm the champion of.
Oh, they know who I am.
Yeah,
I'm a man, damn it.
Big Time Becks, right?
Big Time Becks.
That might be one of the best catchphrases or nicknames. Uh-oh.
Here's Big Time Becks. Big Time Becks
here.
Has come around.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Big Time Becks has come around to the podcast. All right, here we are.
Oh my goodness.
Here we are. Big Time Becks is in the building. I love being Big Time, man. I had so much fun with that run. Want to bring it back.
Your wardrobe, and I mean this with great love and great respect, your wardrobe is atrociously over the top.
I love it, man. I love it. I love it. I will say, it's kind of my real life wardrobe. You know what I mean? Like there is. I love a bit of peacocking. You know, I love a bit of peacocking walking down the streets of Los Angeles.
I don't know who has a better wardrobe. Is it you or is it Seth?
It's I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. Like I have like I want to recycle all of his clothes. I just want to have them all tailored to fit me.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, like then they get to be worn again. We all get to relive these amazing looks that he's been churning out. He came in dressed like a fire hydrant just a second ago to deliver me delicious coffee. But yeah.
When you look back at everything you've done, Big Time Becks has left us now. When you look back at everything you've done, the matches and the championships and everything, what in your career are you most proud of?
I don't know that there's any one thing that I'm most proud of. I think I'm most proud of many things. I think what I'm most proud of right now is being able to balance everything. Being able to balance being a very present mother and wife and being on every single show that we have. I was at Smackdown dark match on Friday. I was on the live events. You know, I'm on NXT. I'm on Raw. I think I'll just be most proud of elevating where the women were and where they went, to where they are now. And just that I've never once found it in. Like, I think you can accuse me of several things. Nobody will ever be able to accuse me of phoning it in, of not trying my hardest, not doing my best. Oftentimes I won't hit the mark. I won't get to where I want to be, but I'm always trying to do my best. I'm always trying to bring the best out of everybody that is in the ring with me. I'm trying to do the best by the audience. And as long as I continue to do that, which there ain't no sign of that stopping, I think I'm going to leave behind a career that I am extremely proud of.
So the last question I want to ask you, I end every interview with this, and you've mentioned it a few times. Gratitude is such an important thing. What are 3 things in your life that you're grateful for as we sit here right now?
Oh my gosh. I mean, my daughter, my husband, my job. They're the first 3 that come to mind. But there's just so many things that I'm grateful for, and I'm very lucky to be so grateful for. But really, my family is number one. It is my whole world. I am so grateful. I always wanted to be a mother. Getting to do it has far exceeded my expectations. the greatest thing in the world. Just what a gift. What a gift. And to be able to do that and still do what I do at such a high level, I'm very lucky. Very, very lucky.
You're a legend, Becky. So good to be able to spend some time with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure.